Thanks to movies and anime, it's well known that Japan has many curses, grudges, and hexes. Some of these are paranormal games played at sleepovers, but others are way more detailed and dangerous, with number 1 being so shocking it's illegal. We'll show you how to avoid getting yourself cursed and what to do if you become a victim. I'm Jun from Japan Junkie, and these are 10 chilling curses from Japan. Number 10. We're starting with the most well-known concept of curses in Japan, which are grudges. These were made famous by the movie The Grudge, or Ju-on as it's called in Japan. Grudges are caused by someone dying with a great deal of rage or sadness, which causes their soul to be unable to rest, and a curse is born. The soul is then dedicated to the destruction of the person who caused their unhappiness. The word tatari in Japanese means curse, and there is a well-known creature called tatarimoke, which means cursed infant. It's created when the soul of a baby attaches to an owl. They can be pleasant creatures and can be honoured by the family of the child. However, if the soul departed the living world due to neglect or malice, the tatarimoke holds generational grudges and brings terrible curses to all of those involved. If you feel that you've been affected by this kind of grudge, there are purification or exorcism rituals in Shinto known as harae. A much easier way to avoid the curse is to be a good person and not cause someone so much unhappiness that it creates a grudge against you. Number 9. Kokuri or Kokuri-san is a supernatural game that's often played by children at sleepovers. Similar to Ouija boards, the words yes and no, along with the Japanese hiragana characters, are written on a blank sheet of paper. The participants need to open a door or window to let the spirit in, which needs to be closed once they're finished. A 10-yen piece is placed on the paper and all the participants place their index finger on the coin. They ask questions and the coin moves, spelling out the answer. The fact that only a piece of paper and a 10-yen piece are needed makes this an easy game to play. But compared to Ouija, there are some rules playing Kokuri. To avoid dangerous side effects, all of the items used need to be destroyed afterwards. The paper is burned, the pen ink is completely used up, and the money needs to be spent on something. All of this has to be done within 24 hours of the game being played. Number 8. Tomino no Jigoku, known as Tomino's Hell in English, is another type of dare that occurs at late-night parties and sleepovers. It's a self-inflicted curse, and it's performed by reading the poem Tomino's Hell, written in the year 1919. Though you have to actually read it aloud for the curse to work. To save you having to read the poem, here's a summary. It's a sad and disturbing story about a young person's lonely journey to the deepest level of hell, and on the way, they cry for their sisters and their past life. There have been reports of strange deaths or people losing their voices, all with one thing in common. They all read Tomino's Hell aloud. Even a death of a director who made a movie based on the poem was thought to be linked to the curse. Even though this is all hearsay, in the mid-2000s the poem re-emerged on internet forums, with people posting their results of reading the poem aloud. The thing that frightened people about this was the fact that the original poster never returned to report on their results. If you want to avoid this curse, just refuse to read Tomino's Hell aloud and you'll be safe. Number 7. A country with thousands of years of history is bound to have several haunted locations. But Kiyotaki Tunnel, located in Kyoto, causes reports of paranormal activity so often that people avoid the area altogether. The tunnel has earned this reputation due to stories of deaths during construction, unfortunate fates of people who have visited, and also the fact that it's 444 meters in length, with 4 being a very unlucky number in Japanese because it shares the same word as death. There have also been claims that the traffic lights behave strangely and can lead to accidents with oncoming traffic. You can see how this would be a problem, with 2 lanes leading to a tunnel that looks barely wide enough to fit even a single car. And the creepy lighting doesn't do any favours for its reputation. Aside from this, there have been reports of weird and scary things including ghostly spirits, and even the length of the tunnel changing. These events are said to occur mostly at nighttime, and of course this hasn't stopped interested tourists from visiting with the hopes of experiencing some sort of paranormal activity. Number 6. Kotoribako is a cursed wooden puzzle box, and while the ritual to create it is too horrendous to explain, in short it involves a sacrifice. According to urban legend, the box is so dangerous it can cause hexes that last generations and wipe out whole villages. One of the stories that's led to the fear associated with Kotoribako is about a box that was found but could not be opened. Women and children who tried to open it started dying, so it was hidden away. When it was eventually found generations later, it was opened and the curse spread through the village and killed everyone. Of course, none of this has been documented, But pictures and stories about the box re-emerged on a Japanese website during the 2000s and quickly became well known. People were worried about receiving pictures or information online about kotoribako, afraid that even the knowledge of it would harm them. Number 5. The next curse is based on a children's game known as Daruma-san Fell Down. It's the Japanese version of red light, green light, or statues, where the players have to freeze when the person who is it turns around and tries to catch them moving. The curse is known as the bath game, and it's a blend of this children's game and a ghost story about a woman who fell in the bath and died, with the tap going through her eye. If for some reason you want to play the bath game, you'll need to start by taking a bath before bed. Face the tap and wash your hair while saying the words, Daruma-san fell down. Repeat this phrase until you've finished washing your hair. With your eyes still closed, you should see an image in your mind of a woman standing in a bathtub. You might feel movement behind you or hear noises, but don't open your eyes yet. You should ask, why did you fall in the bath? Still with your eyes closed, you should get out, leave the bath water overnight and go to bed. When you open your eyes in the morning, the game begins. Daruma-san starts playing her own version of red light, green light. That is to say, she'll follow you and hide when you turn around. You can only glance at her over your shoulder and occasionally feel her presence. If you feel her getting too close, you can yell stop, and she will pause briefly so you can put some distance between the two of you. The longer you play, the stronger she becomes. You have to finish the game before midnight or before she catches you, because if she does catch up to the person playing, the game will not end well for you. To win the game, you need to be able to catch her behind you. Turn around quickly when you know she's there and say "Kitta," while cutting her connection from you using your arm in a slicing motion. If you do this wrong, start running. Number 4. Purple Mirror is based on a story about a vain young girl who is obsessed with her image. She was given a mirror from her mother and spent all of her time gazing at her reflection. She developed an eating disorder, and even though she became terribly sick, the mirror still showed her as being beautiful. She loved the mirror so much that she wanted to decorate it, so she painted it purple. After this, when she looked at herself in the mirror, this time she could only see herself as a pale and unhealthy girl whose beauty had left her. She smashed the glass in horror, but then regretted destroying her precious mirror. During the preparations for her 20th birthday, the girl was hit by a car, and with her last words, she repeated "Purple Mirror" over and over. After that, people started dying in mysterious ways on their 20th birthday, with shards of purple glass found near them. Although this is absolutely an urban legend, it's said that the only way to protect yourself against this curse is to forget the phrase "purple mirror." Don't think about the story until your 20th birthday, then after that, you're safe. Number 3. Kodoku is a kind of black magic created by an individual in order to control or harm a person. The practice was particularly feared during the Nara and Heian period of ancient Japan, and parts of these beliefs are found in certain religions today. The word kodoku translates to cursed poison, which is exactly what it is. The method involves extracting the venom from a particularly strong animal or insect after it's gone through a terrible ritual. The poison is then secretly used against someone. Apart from being a terrible practice, it's said to be extremely dangerous to perform this magic. If the animal turns on its master, the ritual can backfire and cause even greater harm. Number 2. Although Hollywood has created many doll-themed horror movies, Japan has plenty to offer. The most common of these are known as waraningyo. These straw figures are similar to voodoo dolls in that harming or manipulating the doll can influence the person it represents. There are many materials and steps required to make one of these dolls, and there are even pre-made kits available online. However, the difficulty of making a waraningyo is nothing compared to the more evil hinnagami, or doll god. The process in creating this item involves collecting extremely specific dirt. It has to come from a grave that has been stepped on by people during the day, every day, for 3 years from 7 different villages. The dirt is mixed with blood and used as clay to mold the shape of a god, and it's then left on the street to be stepped on by 1,000 people. With such a long and difficult process that takes up years of your life, it's questionable whether the doll's creator is really the one being cursed. Regardless, even if you do eventually get your hinagami doll, it will fixate on its creator, asking relentlessly what they want done next, to the point where the doll will follow them to hell. Number 1. Ushi no Toki Maeri translates to Ox Hour Shrine Visit. The practice dates back centuries as a way to cause harm to the person receiving the curse. It used to be performed by women who were upset with their lovers' misbehaviour, but nowadays men have been known to perform the curse as well. To begin, a person visits a shrine during the Ox Hour between 1 and 3 a.m. This is the darkest part of the night, where the border between the living and the dead is at its weakest. The person wears a mirror around their neck, a dagger in their sash, and a wooden comb or razor in their mouth to prevent them from making any noise. The whole outfit makes the person look like a demon, dressed in a white kimono with candles burning on their head. The person hammers a long iron nail through a straw doll into the shrine's sacred tree. This is repeated several times, and on the last night, the final nail goes through the doll's head. If there are any witnesses, the curse rebounds onto the person performing the ritual. If this happens, the bystander needs to be taken care of immediately, which is why a dagger is carried in your sash. There are many trees that bear the markings of Ushi no Tokimairi, and even to this day, officials who work at shrines still find straw dolls nailed to their trees. It's so evil that people who are caught will be arrested in Japan. Japanese folklore and urban legends are full of secrets. We've only just scratched the surface, so subscribe to our channel to dive deeper into the hidden truths behind Japan's fascinating mysteries. Thank you for staying all the way to the end. You can leave a comment with any suggestions you have for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
ありがとう。またね。